Hello, America. I have a compiled or a compilation of videos of American people across the nation telling us to get prepared, to wake up. I watched these people and it frightened me. It frightened me knowing that we have a government right now that is not only destroying our country, they are shredding our Constitution. They created the oligarchs into the White House. They integrated them. We are in serious trouble, people. Now, you can watch this video through the entirety or not. But this is the warning, America. You better wake up because it's coming. It's coming to your town and it's coming to your front doorstep. Please watch this video all the way through its entirety. Because knowledge is the key to fighting back this corrupt government regime. And if you feel like it, please click like and subscribe. God bless all of us. I cannot believe this is happening.
Bill Gates recently said that if you don't have the digital ID by 2028, you will be isolated from society. That's... What? What? Isn't there a prophecy about that? Does that mean I can't buy and sell? If so, the time is close.
Genuinely, what are we supposed to eat? Every video I see is telling me something bad about what I'm eating. Literally everything in the grocery store. Chemicals, the water, the dishes we're using. Like, you can't even breathe anymore without getting cancer.
Wait, what did he just say?
There's going to be people of means who are going to travel, and then there's going to be people maybe of lesser means who might actually be able to use an Oculus or a Magic Leap or some other kind of device to travel to the same place, but from their own couch. But in many ways, it's actually going to create even more distance between those two people. That psychologically, and I think that we've experienced this through social media. In many ways, it's brought people closer in certain ways, but actually created this remarkable divide because it's even more visible, actually, the divide in certain ways. There's going to be people.
I really hope you guys are paying attention because this is what rich people are literally planning the future for the rest of us. While we're all going to be stuck in apartments that we'll never be able to purchase, never be able to afford, wearing Oculus for our vacation time because we can't afford a real one because we got to go to work tomorrow because we have to work 7 days a week, 3 jobs just to pay that rent and that car payment and the gasoline to put in the car that you can't even afford in the first place, while the rich people are jet-setting all over the world, enjoying themselves and having a good time, living like kings, while the rest of us, slaves, live like slaves.
Trying to tell my husband this, but I have a sneaky suspicion that they're doing something to the plants, like the seeds that you buy from the store. First of all, back when I was younger, you could walk by your neighbor's house and pull a plum off the tree. You know what I'm saying? Or nectarine or some shit. We have a small garden, and every year that has gone by, it's gotten harder and harder to grow. Last year, our vegetables and our fruits were gone by June, and I don't have much hope this year. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, what the is really going on?
Why are all of our towns being taken over by luxury apartments, gated communities, and these small mini mansion communities, and then townhomes that are bought up by some large corporation and then sold as rentals that are also incredibly unaffordable and no one wants to pay for? Why did this all start happening right after COVID? It's destroying working class, blue collar towns across the United States. It's displacing working class, blue collar families and taking away their American dreams. Why is this all happening? Well, think about what's happening to your small southern or small Midwestern town right now. They're going in and they're buying up all the property at way above market value, or they're pushing Northeasterners and Northeastern transplants into your small town and dragging up the home value by selling to them for way above market value. And what does that do? It increases the property taxes to a point where working class, blue collar, and middle class Americans living in these southern and Midwestern towns can no longer afford them. The pay rate isn't going up. It's pretty much staying the same. They don't want working class, blue collar Americans or middle class Americans to be able to own anything. They want us to all have to rent something. So they're forcing us to have to rent because we can no longer afford to own our own homes. If we own our own property, we control the narrative still. If we don't own our own property, we no longer control the narrative. So what's the point of pushing down all of these elitist people, creating all these unaffordable luxury apartments and these mini mansion communities and these townhomes that are so overpriced and the gated communities with the golf courses? What's the point? Rising the home values, what's the point? The point is to push us all out of home ownership. The point is to change the demographics of an area. The point is to push the same uniform morality and the same uniform values and the same uniform system so that everyone is easier to control and everyone relies on these elites for everything. They want to change things. They want things to be destroyed in small town America, and they're doing it on purpose so that they can have the power and the control.
This might be a wild take, but I care less about the gun control laws coming down the pipe in Virginia than I do what's happening in our own skies. Because with gun control, I have to choose, I get the choice to comply or not. What they're spraying on me and my children every day, I have no choice in that. Our politicians need to be talking about this every single day. This is the most important topic on the table, and nobody's talking about it.
Let me get this straight. The EPA was completely dismantled. Data centers popping up everywhere, destroying the drinking water. And then Elon Musk builds a supercomputer in Memphis, destroying the air, the oxygen that we breathe. Air traffic controllers laid off and quit en masse, so we got planes crashing all over the place, hitting fire trucks, because Buddy got confused because he's doing two people's jobs at once. They refused to pay TSA workers, so now they're gone. Oil industry's cooked. Gas prices are higher than they've ever been, literally ever. SNAP benefits cut by 20%, so a whole lot of people can't eat no more. The education system's been completely... Schools are underfunded, schools are closing down, but we have no problem spending our tax dollars to bail out billionaires and to fund the military and prison industrial complexes. No qualms with that at all. That's fine. That's completely fine. So they've created an environment where people are uneducated, unfed, unsafe, unhappy, underrepresented, underpaid, overworked, and completely trapped in survival mode. Sounds about right.
Seed companies, chemical companies, the government, they're all in cahoots to make sure and prevent us from being able to move into small communities. And I'm not talking homesteaders. I am not talking gardeners, hobby gardeners. I am talking like small communities that farm food on like 25 to 30 acres, so like a larger scale. Impossible. I'm from a farming community and I've done a lot of research on this. This is going to be a lot, but I need you to follow me. So when someone farms on a larger scale, and even a smaller scale, 25 to 35 acres is considered a smaller scale. But when someone farms on that scale, they purchase their seeds from a seed company, and these seeds come genetically modified and treated to be disease resistant. Now, with that genetic modification also comes into play that any seed produced by the fruit that you produce from that original seed, if you plant it, should not produce a fruit. Like, you'll have pretty leaves, but you won't have any actual edible food. But let's just say that, for example, you buy a watermelon from a farmer. That farmer has signed a waiver that states he will not attempt to replant any of those seeds that come from that seeded watermelon that grew from the original seed that he purchased from the seed company, and also says that he will not let you purchase seeds from him from the fruit that was produced from that original seed to then plant and possibly even grow edible fruit. These are legal binding documents, like punishable under penalty of law. So the seeds are genetically modified to grow bigger, grow better, more robust, but they're also genetically modified to not produce fruit from like the mother plant. Even though these seeds are considered disease resistant, you're still going to deal with disease, powdery mildew. When it comes to sweet corn, you're going to have a worm infestation. So you're still going to need to purchase agricultural chemicals in order to spray to treat these crops. And that's sweet corn, that's field corn, that's anything. But in order to purchase that chemical, you're going to need a USDA license from the government. So you have to get this license from the government. They're going to know that you're growing food because you need this USDA license in order to purchase these chemicals to treat your genetically modified and disease-resistant seeds that aren't actually disease-resistant. Kelsey, you may say, aren't these chemicals bad for you? Yeah, they are. They are really, really bad, and they don't even tell you how bad. Now, 2 farmers here locally, one has already passed away, the other declining rapidly from something called PSP. They have linked this to farm chemicals. Okay? It's awful. It's basically a deterioration of the physical body while the mind stays intact. You can't walk. You can't swallow. Now, by the time the food from that seed and those chemicals sprayed on it makes its way to you, it's going to be watered down, but who knows what it's causing? Is it making you sick? I don't know. But do you know who one of the largest seed producers, one of the biggest seed companies is? Bayer. Yeah, that Bayer. Yeah. They do seeds, farming chemicals, pharmaceuticals. Are you following me? Keep following me. Now, Bayer is its own entity. It's owned by shareholders. Do you know the biggest shareholder in Bayer? BlackRock. BlackRock controls your seed. It controls the agricultural chemicals and your pharmaceuticals. Okay? You may say, Bayer isn't the only seed company. There are others. Well, BlackRock is also a shareholder in those as well. The 4 largest, Corteva, Syngenta, BASF. Why are we seeing the cycle? Food, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, food, chemicals, pharmaceuticals. Because I hate to tell you this, but the machine that you are a part of, that we are a part of, I, me, you, us, couldn't possibly allow you to become self-sufficient in growing your own food. They stopped that a long time ago, okay? Because you're going to have to purchase your seeds from them. You're going to have to purchase your chemical from them. And then when you get sick, you're going to have to purchase your medication from them as well. Why would they allow us to go into smaller communities and take care of ourselves and depend on each other when we could just depend on them for everything? Basically what I'm saying is if anybody has a seed line from the 1850s, your grandpa's been saving tomato seeds, your great grandpa, he'd been saving them for you, should probably start working on that. But do with this information what you will. Like I said, it's just a conspiracy theory. They wouldn't do that, right?
Let me get this straight. I can go to the grocery store and buy bread in a plastic bag, sliced meat in a plastic container, bottles of ketchup, mustard, and mayo, all in plastic squeeze bottles, and plastic forks and knives. But when I go to checkout, I can't have a plastic bag because that's bad for the environment. Okay.
I just took a ride to my local mall. There's a discount store that I go to. And I'm looking around and there's a big sign that says that the whole mall is for sale because there's really nothing left. We just got notice that we're losing a Dick's and we already lost Macy's and the other big stores that were in there over the years. But does anybody else feel like we're losing the United States of America? everything is disappearing. Every store, no Zayres, no Ames, no Hills, no Sears and Roebuck, no Kmart's. What is happening? What I used to know growing up is no longer. Is this social media and AI all worth it? We, America, are disappearing.
I feel legitimately crazy right now. Like, I'm waiting for fuel shortages and the grocery stores not being stocked, and other people are planning their vacations for the summer and buying, like, flights. And it's just like, is their head in the sand, or am I legitimately crazy? Because I feel like I'm the only one looking around and seeing how this is going to end.